Welcome, everybody, to another episode of On the Range Podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and as always, I am joined by my friend and co-host, Rick Hogg from Hogg Tactical. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it is going great. I just want to thank my fellow Americans, or wherever you're listening at all over the world. Thank you for tuning in, giving us your most precious commodity, your time. Listen to what we have. You know, here's the deal, guys. If you like what you're listening, please do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, rate and review, all that good stuff to help boost the algorithm. So I'm not going to lie. We've been kind of sitting at the top 2.5% here of all podcasts globally for a little bit. You know what? Help us out, guys. Get us over that hump. Let us get to whatever that next little increment is, whether it's 2%, 1%, whatever. The only way we can do that is with your support. And that's done by you telling your friends, family, sharing this. Send out a tweet, Instagram, Facebook, all that other good stuff. Let people know, hey, man, you enjoy On the Range podcasts. And then another way you guys can support the show, if you like what you're hearing, you want early access, you want Zoom calls with me and Mark twice a month, training tips exclusive only to our patrons, go to patreon.com/On the Range podcasts. Help us out that way. You know, and since we're kind of on that a little bit, I'm going to jump just a little bit in, Mark. You know, as you can see, for those of you watching, I've got my C2R Fast Fortuna jacket on, right? And you're probably going, why are you wearing that? Is it that cold? Well, it is pretty chilly, right? But here's the thing, man. This thing is a bomber jacket. We'll be doing a review on it soon.
Yeah.
And I got it. It's not my full 90 days wearing it, using it. No way, dude. I don't need to, because trust me, if we wait 90 days, the weather's going to be shifted. This thing is a gold mine. Wrong side here. Gotta figure out side my patches on. Boom. Marketing going on there. But yeah, these things are absolutely bomber. We'll get more on that in a bit. But yeah, looking forward to the show. And, you know, guys, just appreciate you tuning in, man. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah. Wherever you are, guys, thank you for making this part of your day. And today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Hoist. They're a new partner, Rick. They've been with us a little bit, but new partner. They got up on board with us. They got tons of great flavors. It's unbelievable. I am enjoying the peach mango.
Nice. Little strawberry lemonade action.
Lights back there. Strawberry lemonade. Yeah, that's a good one too. But, it's the Warfighters Hydration. It's level 4 hydration. It hydrates you better than plain water does. It's a great product, a lot of good flavors. And they've also given all of our viewers and listeners a promo code. So if you go to drinkhoist.com, again, drinkhoist.com, go and use the promo code OTR10, save yourself 10%. Great promo code, great product. A boatload of cash. But yeah, man, they are a great company, local to my area, veteran owned and founded, and just a great group of people. And we're super excited to have them on board. We'll be sipping on these drinks. We'll be sipping on these drinks all summer long, guaranteed. You're going to see one of these in our.
I think you've been hitting a little bit too much of the double barrel maple
brown water. That's right. But yeah, super grateful to have them on board and offering this discount. So go again to drinkhoist.com, promo code OTR10, save yourself a boatload of cash.
Yeah, buddy.
So it is the Olympics. We talked about this on our last episode on our winter special. If you guys didn't check out the winter special, go check it out. Right in the middle of the storm, your boys didn't rest, didn't panic. We went ahead and did a special live. It was a lot of fun. Had a big following that night. So go check out that episode. Talked about the Olympics.
Yep.
Now, we love our athletes. We always talk about our athletes here on the OTR universe, but we've made it painfully clear that we're not happy with the venue as well, haven't we, Rick?
Yeah. And you know, here's the thing. I think we've got to set a little bit of a history lesson in place for some people, right?
Yeah.
History lesson number 1. The People's Republic of China is a communist country. Okay. First and foremost, people need to understand that. I think the newer generation, this fact of communism has been lost. Somehow it almost seems like we as the Americans or globally, people are trying to endorse it, embrace it, socialism, all this other craziness, right? We grew up in that era where you have to think, and we'll get to another Olympic Games here that we opted to boycott, but communism was kind of in our face. That was during the Cold War era. Two superpowers, us and the Soviet Union, if you want to say, kind of on that brink of total annihilation, both having nuclear weapons, more than what we needed. And it was that constant war, so it was kind of one of those that, if you want to say, rounds weren't necessarily fired between us and the Soviets, but sidebar conflicts going on, domino theories. I mean, guys, do your history lesson, understand it was a critical error in, the history of our great country. And I think it's been lost over time. The thing is, what you're kind of seeing is, if you remember back to 1980s Moscow Summer Games, we opted as a country to boycott it. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not a super big fan of boycotting the Olympics. And here's why. Because our athletes, man, these guys put in time and effort, 4+ years just prepping, to try to get on those games, a lifetime in some cases, achieving those Olympic dreams. And then, to kind of pull us out because of some type of, political agenda. I don't necessarily agree with that. Do I agree with the venue? No. Was Moscow the best place in 1980 to have the games at? Probably not. Different venue, would have been boycotted, but I don't agree in trying to make a political statement on our athletes' part. Now, with that being said, I do have to say, listen here, and I'll call it straight out. Hey, Nancy Pelosi, you've got zero right to tell our athletes not to offend China, right? Yes, they're diplomats of the United States, but they are also in a communist country. All right. You've been around long enough. Could their secret police easily roll in and scoop them up? 100% they could, if they wanted to. Would they? Probably not. But the potential's there. And this is the part that people forget. Everyone thinks we're, happy-go-lucky with China. China has no good favors towards the U.S. If anything, they've got ill intent, right? And the whole, you look at everything going on. You've got state-sponsored cyber terrorism going on. You've got them stealing intellectual properties from companies. You got them doing everything, jockeying for position in the global world. Yet you're going to have one of our elected officials go, "Oh, be nice. Don't say anything." Excuse me. I'm not expecting them to go out there and slam these people, but you know what? They're also Americans. They're also entitled to their opinion. However, their opinion probably very much not spoken, in a country that dominates the propaganda that their people are told, that dominates, hey, what news they're going to get, what information they're going to get. These are the things that people forget, right? So if you look back when we were growing up, I remember, it was that classic propaganda war. Yes, the Soviets would, inflate how bad the U.S. was. They'd go around and take pictures of homeless people and crime and all this other stuff. And then, of course, hey, that doesn't happen here in the Soviet Union. They might have had it in a little better control in that aspect, but you're still standing in waist-deep snow to get one roll of toilet paper. Actually, I think they got a couple, right? So you'd see these people walking out with 3 rolls of toilet paper, and boy, that was a score. If you owned blue jeans, i.e. like Levi's, or I think Calvin Klein were the hot ones in the 80s or whatever, dude, that was black market items that you had to buy in communist Soviet Union, and they were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a pair of blue jeans, right? That we just took for granted. So people, go back, please do me a favor. Go read some history, get into your Cold War facts, find out what's going on, and quit thinking that the Chinese are, if you want to say, nice people. They care less about us. Okay.
Yeah.
If you look hard at what they're doing, they're playing the classic, Soviet playbook or communist playbook, for lack of better terms. You don't think people are going there? And those of you that have been to SEER school, you kind of know my saying. Yeah, they are. If you go against the state, you're gone. there is no freedom of speech. And we're seeing that going on right now. In essence, you got genocide going on in that country. And, you know, when you try to say something, it's, oh, you don't want to offend people. Oh, hey, man, the facts are the facts. You know, we've turned into this, you know, you've got facts and opinions. Number one, I'm entitled to my opinion as an American. I can say whatever I want. The Constitution of the United States gives me that right. And when I look back at our founding fathers, who are absolute geniuses, now I know why they made that number one. Because if you basically cut my tongue out of my mouth, then I can't say anything. And all the rest just fall to the side. So go ahead, buddy.
Well, that's a very good point, because the tennis player, Ping, she made an accusation about one of the chancellors in the Chinese Communist Party, and next thing you know, she's gone. She disappeared. Yeah. Tennis really, the fans were like, hey, where's Peng? Where's Peng? We'd love to see Peng. She was gone for weeks. She finally resurfaced and made a released statement, obviously written by the Chinese Communist Party.
Sure.
They did a Zoom call. And then the president of the IOC, I think 2 days ago, had a face-to-face meeting. Of course, she was accompanied by the Chinese Olympic Committee representative, and we all know who that was. That was the Chinese Communist Party representative. That's who that was. And it was a prepared statement to the president of IOC. So I'm with you. I don't like the venue. I think it was a smart move, the diplomatic boycott. So we have no diplomats from our government, and several other Western countries did the same. I agree with that. But I also agree that though we don't like the venue, we support our athletes. We love our athletes. They have spent their whole lives, and we want them to have the opportunity to compete. It's unfortunate so it's over there. I am not a huge fan of not letting them go there. But at the same time, it's terrible. You know, the opening ceremonies, NBC, there was a couple of contributors that were there, obviously, you know, on the NBC payroll. And Mike Tirico, I got to give it to Mike Tirico. You and I talked about this pre-production, and he asked the tough questions. He brought it up. But these commentators, it really felt like they were shilling for China. Now, I don't know if that's because it was, you know, this is viewership, but there was no need for that. You can explain what the ceremony was and what was happening. You don't have to shill for them. That's how it felt. Now, maybe that's just because I hate communism and all the death that it's caused and how inherently dangerous it is of an idea. Maybe that was me. But when they brought out the, I can't remember, she was a cross-country skier, the young lady who happened to be a Uyghur Muslim from China. And that is classic reverse propaganda by the Communist Party of China. Obvious.
But here's part of the problem, Mark, right? Is we're in essence a generation removed from the Soviet Union. So there are people alive today that I guarantee you ask them, hey, tell me something about the Soviet Union. What's that? They have no idea, right? We grew up in an era where, let's think about it, right? Old Nancy Pelosi, we don't want to offend the Chinese, okay? Let's think about it. We had T-shirts back in the 70s and 80s, kill a commie for mommy, right?
Yeah.
Common practice. Nobody batted an eye. Nobody said nothing. You know, as much as I'm not a fan of Hollywood, you had the classic U.S. versus the Soviet movies. You know, you look at whether it was Rocky or Rambo, and it seems like Stallone was kind of heading up that one. But they were, in essence, kind of Cold War propagandas. You know, I'm sure the Soviets had theirs going on over there, but we had ours. You know, we were fighting the Russian bear. And, you know, we always came out.
It's always against communism. It was always against communism. And communism has killed uncountable number of human beings.
Well,
uncountable, their own people.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we won't even get into that, right?
We don't even have to get into that. That's just a fact.
Well, it's a fact, but people, you know, and I think we talked about this, you know, a couple episodes back. And again, I say this with all respect to any victim of the Holocaust, right? I am not downplaying you guys at all. But again, it's estimated that the Soviets killed somewhere between 20 to 60 million. They don't even have a number, right? Of their own people,
Mhm.
because they
Yeah.
somehow bucked the system, went against the party, whatever. And nobody mentions that. It's just,
Yeah.
why? Think about it. Now, granted, I'm not going to get into McCarthy and the Red Scare, just touch on it, right? But there was a point there that in the 50s, we were very much anti-communism. We saw what that poison can do. And it was, it's still one of the questionnaires, I think, don't quote me on it because it's been a while since I filled out, an SF-86 for security clearance there. But I think, I remember there used to be something on there about the Communist Party, either dealings with, part of, whatever, but
Yeah, you know
somehow,
what? I think that is in one of the task force I was involved in. That's probably about 15 years ago, but that question was on there.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is. I don't know the last time it's been revised.
Yeah.
But
That's at least 15 years ago. Yeah.
but my point being, it used to be very much at the heart of this country. We were very anti-communism. But then,
Yeah.
and I'm going to throw Pelosi under the bus, because how dare you make a public statement? How about
Yeah.
you do a reminder? Hey, understand this, people. They're in a communist country, right? We hope, and we put their safety, to the Chinese government. But if the Chinese government wanted to scoop all of our athletes up, they could do it. What
Yeah.
would we do then? We just, you can't make, you're entitled to your comments, right? Boom. But quit bashing on these poor athletes, man. Let them go out there and bring home the gold. That should be the
Yeah.
main focus, not, oh, don't
Yeah.
offend China. Don't be nice. No, they're communists, man. Do your research. I would just tell you this to any of the viewers, listeners out there. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Mark's word for it. Just do some research, man. Part of it's
Yeah.
educating yourself, and look at the death toll that communism has caused. It's not a good thing,
No.
So,
Well, people, you and I both remember having bomb drills in elementary school.
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
People want to forget that. That is an absolute fact because of communism and how much they hate the Western world.
Yeah.
And capitalism. It's all about the good of the government, the good of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at it, back in the day, we had the bomb drills, we had fallout shelters,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
People, what's a fallout shelter? I mean, we were very much prepping for a nuclear war. I mean, as best as you could. But I mean, do research on that, guys. We lived at a very stressful time, for lack of better terms. The only thing I think that ever kept us from fully going to nuclear war was knowing, hey, if one side launched, the other one launched, and you had the mutual assured destruction that, hey man, this planet wouldn't be anymore. You're just going to start launching, nuclear weapons. I mean, but man, just do some research before people get all on this high holy horse, and then all of a sudden, you've got people actually on NBC making some comments, and it's like, now people are all freaking out. It's like, dude, that used to be a nightly thing, man. You would watch, hey, the communists were doing something. I mean, I remember when the Soviets went into Afghanistan. That was straight up communist aggression, right? Why did we go to Vietnam? The whole domino theory. I mean, we can look at all over the world the conflicts we have been in during that time frame. It was all based on trying to stop the spread of communism.
Yeah. And in this opening ceremonies, with this young lady who is a Muslim Uyghur from China, of course she's smiling. Yeah, I'd smile too if I had someone who had a gun to my family's head. And don't think for a second that those things are not happening. You think when these athletes don't perform their best, that they don't expect ill treatment? You don't expect that? This one young girl who is a figure skater from her own people how you by her falling or not getting a 10, whatever, disgracing the government and the emperor and all this other crap. I'm telling you right now, guaranteed, the rumors of the ill treatment of their athletes is well documented.
Yeah. Look,
and it's
look at this. Look at the Soviets, right? So again, I keep going back to the Soviets because that stuff was documented. So again, if you were an Olympic athlete performing well, the state took care of you. The state took care of your family, right? Here's your nice apartment. Here's your food. Oh, there's a novel concept, right? Actually eating some food. But yeah, not performing. See you later.
Take it all away.
Gone. You know, you're back to Siberia.
Then too.
What's that?
Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you'd be going back to Siberia, wherever, you know. I mean, it wasn't, they totally controlled everything. So people need to stop. It wasn't like people had choices, man. It's like you either perform, you step up to the plate. And they knew in the back, look at all those fake smiles them poor people had. It was like, hey, man, I either got to perform or I'm not eating, or I got to perform or I'm getting booted out of my apartment going to live God knows who where. You know, I mean, it's just, it is not a good thing. So I just would ask those of you listening, if you're unaware or think we're blowing smoke or doing whatever, fact check us, man. Hate to use that word. It's not a good one. No, I'm not saying fact check. Do your research. That's the better. See, they're trying to indoctrinate with them words, you know. Go do your own research.
There was one part of the opening ceremonies right before they raised the host nation's flag, and they pass it through a group of citizens and people who had the honor of doing that, and then they passed it to some soldiers, and the soldiers marched up to the flag post. Did you see that?
Yep.
That point, go look at it. I can't play it. I'm afraid we're going to get hammered by it. I may put it out on a social media post. And the first thing I thought of when they were doing their ceremonial march, you know how everybody knows what it is.
Yep.
I'm thinking, where is this? Is this 1979? That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah,
exactly. And with Putin and the ruler of China right now, I can't think of his name. I'm not even going to say it. Sitting together in the box. I'm like, hey man, this was definitely show. And then I loved how and they're proud and they're showcasing their technology. It was badass technology during the ceremony. Don't get me wrong. I wonder how much of that proprietary technology was freaking stolen.
All of it.
90% of it.
All of it.
90% of it. Yeah, all of it.
I don't. Here's the thing. And again, I haven't done a whole bunch of research on it, right? Just because I got other things to do. But I will tell you this. The Chinese state will sit there and, let's say an iPhone, they'll buy one. And then they'll basically rip it all apart, backward engineer it or steal the IP or do whatever. And then you've got, I don't know, the C phone, China phone, whatever you want to call it, right? It's amazing how many things that they have there in their country that looks very similar to, you know, items that we have. And it's been one of the biggest things. And I think Trump was really the only one to address it of, hey, man, you guys are stealing IP and nobody's batting an eye. Or, hey, man, they're
doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really easy. You know, you want Rick's opinion. You pick up the phone and you tell China, hey, guys, check it out. One more cyber attack, one more IP thief, one more whatever. And check it out. You'll never import another thing into this country. And you're like, oh, Rick, that's so hard. No, dude, you have to be. Because you know what? Call their bluff. Go ahead and steal something.
Yeah.
Because here's the part, right? People always go, oh, we're so indebted to China. What if they call, you know, for all this money? They never will. Because here's the deal. They need us more than we need them. Okay?
Yeah.
I got it. We're fully using our, if you want to say, capitalistic reach to go into a country that can produce products at a cheaper price, right? I don't personally agree with it. We were once a powerhouse when it came to manufacturing. There was nobody that could out-manufacture the U.S. and we've let all that slip away over time because, again, people want their profits and their money, and I get it. That's one thing, with us and our product line we're getting ready to launch. I will not budge on it now. I want my stuff made in the USA. I want my flag to be on there with pride. And I would just ask companies, man, if you're part of a business out there listening or whatever, hey man, can you bring anything back home to the US? Can we get our US manufacturing back? Because if you want Rick's opinion, how did we win World War II so quickly? Dude, we turned all of our manufacturing we had towards the war machine. And that's what we did. Singer sewing. Here's a little trivia for you. Singer sewing machines. Dude, they were making 45 caliber pistols, 1911s.
Yeah.
Which I believe is one
Henry
of the rare.
Ford was making all those Jeeps.
Yeah. I mean,
they started busting out those Jeeps.
Dude, we were a powerhouse. And then slowly over time, we start going overseas. And now that's the standard. And I don't agree with it. I personally don't.
That's another thing too that NBC had done as far as the commentary. Yeah, there's these allegations of human rights violations. Allegations, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but all the development they're doing in South America and Africa, all the development and they're, dude, if you think that they're just not occupying those places, building up those ports of call.
Yeah. Yep.
And all these areas and just building the infrastructure. And you think they're putting the locals in charge of that. You're out of your minds. No. It's not happening.
Nope.
It's a capitalistic style occupation is what it is. And just to even say that and with a straight face was absolutely ridiculous. That was another thing I didn't like. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You think those people down in South America and Africa like the Chinese?
Nope.
Maybe for a hot second, then they realize, oh my God, this is bad.
Well, you have to think about it, right? And again, this is history. People don't understand history. So colonialism back in the day, you look at South America. Why is Central and South America primarily speaking Spanish? Because the Spaniards, went down there. Yes, Brazil, Portuguese, because the Portuguese went there. You look at Africa. Why they speak in French. I mean, it's colonialism 101. Major countries going to another country to get, what do they care about? They care about the people? Nope. They care about the natural resources. What does that country, what can I get from that country? It's nothing new, right? And people don't get that. It's history repeating itself just in a slightly different twist. So versus these countries going to basically countries that had never seen foreigners before. Yeah, you're not going to surprise anybody going to, or going to Africa as another country, right? They've already seen it.
But and here's another. Go ahead, buddy. Finish that.
No, I'm just saying that the Chinese are scooping everything up, right? So
anything that they believe will benefit them, absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So who controls? Here's one for you, right? Who controls the Panama Canal?
Yeah.
So, in 99, when the canal treaty ended and we never extended it, dude, I was down there during that whole transitional time, and you saw the Chinese down there buying up our bases as we were leaving, right? Because Panamanians were selling it cheap freaking money, and they're scooping that stuff up. So it's not like it's happening. It's been going on for a while. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but we've had the blinders on, and we just need to,
here's another thing too. It's not that we feel for the Chinese people. Oh, this is a human deal. This isn't, us bad mouthing everybody over there. We know that they are in a horrific circumstance and they're terrified. And the communists are able to pin people against themselves. They have these ways of, kind of telling on each other, and you got to report people that are not doing things that are benefiting or that are anti-establishment. It's crazy. We feel for them. We want them to be free and be the way we are here in the United States, as far as, being able to say what they want, being able to start their own business, but they are under horrible, horrible circumstances. And I feel for them because you can tell, look at their faces, these athletes, these Chinese athletes.
Well,
they're terrified, folks.
It's either put up or, we're so-and-so at gone.
Yeah.
It's just,
and yeah.
I don't know. I just wish people would do some research, do some studying. And if you think what we're saying is blowing smoke, all you got to do, man, is look at the Cold War. I mean, that is history. Those are facts.
Yeah.
Look at the whole concept of communism.
Yeah.
For us back then, you got to think the Soviets was the big push, right? We cared very much what the Soviets were doing. We were educated on the Communist Party, how that was all that, workings and everything else, how everything's for the people. But yeah, like you said, dude, turn your neighbor in. Hey man, he's talking against the party.
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy system. And it was all over, the whole Iron Curtain. You look at, East Germany, for example, same thing. You got the Stasi running around. Dude, you got people reporting their neighbors. Oh, they're talking against the state. Gone. It's not.
You think, it's rampant. And if you think that every bit of data on every one of those athletes from other countries' phones is not being captured,
dude,
you're absolutely 100% incorrect. Everything, including all the businesses, the broadcasts, everything.
They're ripping everything they can.
Guaranteed.
And I know, I haven't seen it this year. One of the Olympics, one of the past ones, I know one of the big things they were talking about was they gave all the athletes, phones and cards and all this other stuff so they could call home, right?
Sure.
Here's the thing. If you're a U.S. athlete and you're listening to this podcast, do me a favor. I caution you what you're doing with your Chinese given gift phone. And if it were me, I would sit there and chuck that thing in the drink when you're leaving. I got it. Call home, check in with your family, do all that other stuff with your regular communications. I wouldn't stick my contacts in there. I wouldn't stick anything that you don't want somebody else to have. Because trust me, if you brought a phone there, and I hope you didn't, but if you did and it's turned on, trust me, they've already ripped all your data out of there anyway.
I would think there'd have to be some kind of briefing on that stuff.
They're
being followed constantly. They're being followed and watched constantly.
So this is a new dynamic, right? Their freedom of movement is restricted just because of the whole, China virus deal. So they're stuck. I think they're dubbing it the bubble, so whatever their bubble is for the Olympic area, but I guess the area is spread out in different places. So I'm not sure how they farm them out, bring them back together. I don't know all the logistics of that, but it's not like they've got free run. They're pretty much stuck in their bubble for their quote unquote safety. But yeah, you can guarantee there's eyes on them 24/7.
Guaranteed.
They brought any technology in, that stuff's being ripped. They know they brought their phones over there. Trust me, whatever's on there, they've got it. You don't.
And I know that they are. You know why? Because that's what we would do.
Oh, dude, think about it. Right? Let's think about it. Again, I go back to
absolutely.
This is history and fact, right? So when the U.S. Embassy was built in Moscow, dude, that thing was wired for sound. They went through and did their little bug checkies, and dude, this place is hotter than hot. So you're building, and think about it, right? So from, if you want to say an espionage standpoint, you're building a prime test bed to go, hey man, how can we rip IP? Right. Or how can we just rip data? I'll just put it that way. So think about it. If you're a businessman traveling to Beijing, because again, you're doing business with the communist because you want to make more money. Not saying it's right or wrong. Hey, that's your conscience. You got to deal with it. But what a better place to test out your new, if you want to say, ripping technology than in the Olympic bubble, right? So, hey, we might have this new stuff. Businessman comes through. Hey, can we pull stuff off of a computer without turning it on? I don't know. I'm sure they're figuring it out. As soon as as soon as that phone hits the tower, gone. They're
gone.
getting. So
yeah, definitely.
It's just, it's not trying to be Debbie Downer. It's just trying to be factual.
No.
This is the way these people operate, right? And history shows you that the communist playbook hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, man. It's been pretty much the same thing over time. And they just keep doing the same thing.
Hey guys, if you missed it at the beginning of the episode, check out our new partner, Hoist. They are on board with the OTR universe. So go to drinkhoist.com, use promo code OTR10, save yourself a boatload of cash, 10%, and support the show by doing so. Rick has got the strawberry lemonade, and I got the peach mango. Absolutely delicious. Hydrates you better than regular water. It's the Warfighters Hydration, level 4 hydration. It's very good. All their flavors are awesome. They got the dragon fruit, which is one of my favorites. And they have now the watermelon tastes like a Jolly Rancher. Freaking delicious.
Their
very
flavors,
tasty.
Yeah, their flavors are spot on.
Yeah, very tasty. Very tasty.
Yeah. And
one other topic we wanted to go ahead, buddy.
Well, just since we're doing a quick plug, hey guys, just do us a quick favor. Like I said, you might have came in a little bit late. Hit that like, subscribe, rating, review, all that other good stuff. And don't forget our Patreon page, patreon.com/On the Range Podcast.
Yeah.
All right. There's my plug.
So another thing happened this week, and we had talked about this a little bit. Rick and I have conversations about scheduling and the businesses and the OTR universe. And we were talking about Joe Rogan apologizing, and it was a true apology. I understand why he did it. I can't imagine having that type of attack where you're not a terrible person. You know that you're a good person and you do a lot of good stuff. Yeah. And now everybody's just ripping you and calling you names and putting these videos of these montages of, you saying things that now you wish you hadn't, even though the context wasn't delivered with it. He's going to have to live with that a little bit. But Rick and I kind of have an opinion on this, and mine for sure is don't apologize. He should not apologize. They have already made their mind up about Joe Rogan. They want him to be platformed. They don't care. And hey, look, we said it about the Whoopi Goldberg incident. It was her take. We believe she's wrong. She said she made a mistake. I don't want her to lose her job. If we can't say, hey, that was a terrible thing you said. It's okay. Thank you for your apology, and move past it, then who are we? That makes us terrible. So there's no sense in him apologizing. No,
because here comes the problem, right? What part of First Amendment are we missing? Where is it? I got it. If you're saying something slanderous against another individual, right, there can be legal repercussions. But I'm entitled to my opinion. If I want to sit there and go, communism is bad, and somebody else wants to go, communism is good, we're entitled to that opinion, right? This is the slippery slope that I believe we're currently at with our society. Is this whole woke culture, cancel culture, we're turning into a bunch of Sallys. Long story short, if your name's Sally, I'm sorry. But we are so soft, man. The whole concept, right? If we can't have a discussion, if Mark can't say, well, I think this, and Rick goes, I think that, how can we ever achieve any greatness if we're all tiptoeing around and worried about, oh, he said something bad about China? Yeah, I'm entitled to my opinion, right? If I want to call this current state of health fair we're in the China virus, I'll call it the China virus. I'm entitled to my opinion. This is a very dangerous slope. And I sit there and question, are we going? It almost goes back to the whole communist propaganda, right? So we've got some certain people that have some certain platforms that have some horses. Let's be an honest broker. Joe Rogan hits a lot of people, has a lot of influence, if you want to say that, and he's not really, he puts his opinion in there some, but really he does a great job when it comes to interviewing guests. It's just not willy-nilly. It's pretty well thought out, getting interesting different people on there. And I sit there and go, what's up with the big attack? Why are we pushing this agenda? Because it just seems like we are in a current culture that's very communist-esque, attacking. It's like, oh, you spoke against the state.
Yeah.
But
well, that reach, I think, is the key. That reach is the key. He has 11 million people each episode, 100 million total followers. And he's saying things that are contrary, even things that he said back in the early days of the pandemic turned out to be the case and recognized by the government now. And they're still busting his chops. It's because of that reach and because they just don't want him talking anymore. That's his reach is the key. And when you apologize, it seems like there's some kind of a affirmation there. Oh, see, he does know he should get his job taken away from those two clowns from CNN. I don't really want to say their name. I'm going to say Stetler. I don't like that guy. I don't like his takes. He might be a perfectly nice human, but his takes are terrible, and he's terrible on TV. And what he says are all lies, folks. I'm sorry, but he should be fired. We need to get rid of him. Hey, Brian, they're coming for you, pal. You think that they're not going to eat you like they're eating the rest of their own just because you're on CNN?
It's almost, this is what I kind of look at everything going on. It's almost, again, going back to, we talked about McCarthy's Red Scare. Are you a Communist Party? Are you a free thinker? Do you have more power than me? Let me, it's almost like getting everything stirred up where now we can't speak against the state, for lack of better terms. No, right. I can, this document that our brilliant founding fathers called the Constitution says I can say that. And this is the part. What did Joe say wrong? Nothing. Did he offend some people? Maybe. I mean, but let's think about it too. Let's think about it for a second, right? He's also a comedian. Okay. You don't think people have gone to a show and have been offended by something he might have said? I don't know. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Have you been offended by something that your parents have told you, that your friends have told you, that your coworkers have told? Where do we draw the line on this whole being offended thing? And then the next repercussion is you're fired. So if you're going to sit there, let's say, for example, your coworker says, dude, you're lazy. Oh, my feelings have been hurt. You should be fired. Are you lazy or not? Yes. You're lazy, factual, boom. Come on, man. So I would say this, if you're a Rogan subscriber, if you're a Rogan follower, any of that, again, it's the power of the people. So is Spotify going to sit there and go, hey, dude, you're out? I don't know what his contract all says. I don't know how that breach all works. I don't know the legalese that's behind it, right? But I do know people respond to money. So again, if you're on there and you truly believe in what, Joe's being wrong, then you tell Spotify, either by a email, phone call, however you can contact Spotify, and go, hey, man, if he's out, I'm out. I'll dump everything I got and go to some other platform. That's, I hate to say it, man. It goes back to power of the people. And corporate America, it isn't stupid. And they sit there and go, hey, 11 million people, I'm off your platform. That's a gut punch, man. And then you take that thing globally, say, hey, Spotify's out. You got the chance of, going bankrupt and being done.
Oh, I think that would definitely bankrupt Spotify, because there's no way that anybody would be listening to Spotify if they did that. Probably 75% of their paid subscribers are there to listen to Joe Rogan. Almost guarantee it. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, he had a conversation with Jordan Peterson, and then they just went off. Spotify said they're not going to do anything with it. Now all of a sudden they bring this bigot stuff up, when a lot of those things may have been said 10 years ago. They didn't have a problem then, but now they do.
Well, that was the whole point, right? So according to him, because I listened to his conversation, or him giving the apology or whatever. And yeah, it was years ago. Talking to a guest, putting things, it wasn't in a derogatory way. He's having a interview conversation with another individual, and boom. But here's the part, if you want to look at the hypocrisy in all of this, Stern said the same thing.
Oh yeah.
No, but he gets a buy, and he was kind of his wasn't during one of his shows. His was like on some sidebar, comedy deal. So I'm just,
it's only a matter of time for all those videos and audios of these folks, without context, are going to have that come out. They've already got one of the president back in the day when he was a senator. It's coming. You can't have it both ways, because people are just going to do the exact same thing to you, and it's not a way to operate.
Right, but it's hypocritical, right? So you're picking and choosing who you want to target. You're picking and choosing how you're framing it. It's like, no, man.
Sure.
Look at the base for the what was said. I mean, let's think about it, man. Joe Biden's a straight up liar, right? So he sat there, and I don't know, what was he, top umpteen% of his law class, and he's done this, and all these things that he said years ago, right, come to light. No, all were lies, but nobody bats an eye, or nobody, hey man, what's up with this? So it's, I don't even know if you want to go woke, cancel, pick and choose. We're just a very odd dynamic where the First Amendment, and it's so under attack. And I used to be so backwards. I used to think, hey, 2 is 1 and 1 is 2. No, man, it's, you're taking people's voice. You're taking people's ability for free speech. And dude, we're on a very, very communist-esque trend where now you've got people telling you, you can say this and you can't say that. And the only way that we can do it is people are better educated. People understand past history. People can hopefully see what's going on. And then, oh, by the way, do something about it. If you're just hanging out at the house going, oh, it's all good. Nope.
The midterms are fastly approaching.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. Yeah. So
we got
guys.
6 GBs running. So as you don't know, green berets. Yeah, man.
That's unbelievable.
Dude, I think it's awesome. It's fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. We got to have some more of those guys. Yeah. Have more of those guys back on the show. Get Tony back on the show. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, guys, if you like what you're hearing at the On the Range podcast, Hogg, Tactical and Kelley Defense, and you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Again, patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Also, don't forget to check out warhog.com and kellydefense.com. There's a one-stop shop at both sites. All the past episodes of all of our audio and videos. You have direct links. You can donate to the In Honor of Duco project. A lot of great stuff. Plus, oh yes, our training calendars are going to start to fill up, and we got a lot of cool things coming up. But if you really want to get the behind the scenes stuff and check out the vlogs, we got another vlog coming out this week from SHOT Show 2020. Rick did a good job. We're putting that together,
dude,
and it's a lot of fun to check those out. Plus, you get the Zoom calls with Rick and I. Yeah.
Dude, so here's the thing. These last couple of vlogs, it's been interesting because we've had a fly, right? Do I break the mask rule? Do I not? Here's all I'm going to say. You guys are going to have to go check it out. It's quite comical. I think I let the cat out the bag a little bit as far as the mask police at SHOT Show. Yeah, you might see me being accosted one day with this guy chasing me down. No, they're here's the thing. They're fun. It gives you just a little inside back scoop. Hey, us holding on to a little tripod deal, and is the best camera angle? Is it not? Does my face fade in? Does it fade out? It's like, hey man, you just grabbing some content where you're at, and just seeing a little behind the scenes, and yeah, it's fun just to sit there and chat. And man, you never know. You never know.
Especially the range days. We always seem to be the first ones there and the last ones to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
there when it's
anyway,
cool,
guys,
leaving when it's a sweatbox, you know?
Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining the show. Hope you've had a great weekend and it's a beginning of your work week. This episode will be dropping soon. We'll have another one coming up, but check out the War Hogg Words of Wisdom and the Vantage Points, and leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think. Give us a 5-star rating. And at the very least, share these audio and videos.
Yeah, please do.
Let's do it again soon, buddy.
Yeah, man. You know it.
All right, pal. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.